Islam. Praise Allah. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Honors to Brother Marcus Messiah, Gary Bay, the forerunner of the Prophet, the John the Baptist return, to pave the way for Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the Jesus return, to give us the everlasting gospel of Allah. The Prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in flesh. I cannot sit here and fathom all day, every day on falsehood, but honors to the leadership of the Moorish Science of America, all leaders, all members. Without members, you don't have leadership. So all of us are members. Today's show, I already put it up in there, it's called Deception. Deception is what sells. Deception is what keeps the people off their buyer beware, their beware or be square. And there's so much deception going on to the point where people love to repeat what they hear, and it's being passed down from generation to generation, which I call it the generation curse. No one can sit here and tell me otherwise. Because if people can sit here and tell me that we're African American, then prove it to me. Where's the Constitution? Where's the laws? Where's the statute of limitations? Where are all these things that we need to sustain a nation? Where is our membership? Where's our dues and assessments? Who's applying law to whom is out of line? Now, these are the questions you need to ask. Where is the Constitution for the Negro, blacks, and colors? Where is it? You can sit here and question me all you want, or why I'm speaking like this. But I speak like this because I'm going to keep repeating myself, because the Prophet Ali can't repeat himself. Because the hammer is to use the tool, is used to drive home the falsehood until it is part of every part of the Negro, black, and colored's well-being. And this is the tool, the workshop of the mind that the common people are being used to mislead each other by the oppressor, who is the superior so-called white man. This so-called white man, called the Rockefeller, is the one who deceives everybody, and whatever information he gives, you say yes sir. I say no. I rebel. I rebel against oppression. I rebel against falsehood. I rebel against slander and defamation of character. I rebel against anything that is an abomination against humanity. I blame the common people for not thinking, for allowing their way of life being ransacked by some statute of limitations and some penal codes that's not law. They sit here and talk about Penal Code 601 or Penal Code 602, which is trespassing. Well, my thing is this: how come they're not following their own penal code law, so-called law, because it's legal but it's not law? So how about the oppressors ransacking this nation and calling it their own, and they're the ones who trespassed? Who is doing the thinking? Who is propagating this falsehood? It couldn't be the so-called Negro, blacks, and coloreds. It couldn't be the islanders. It couldn't be the people of Asiatic descent. It couldn't be us. Then who else could it be? I'm like, man, at work. Who could it be now? Knocking at my door, oppressing us. I'm giving y'all this information because the people fail to understand that everyone has a right to a nationality. Every so-called Negro, Black, and Colored, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic has every right to a nationality. You can sit here and dictate to me your little personal feelings, which is not valid. And if this was a court of law, you would lose. Because you are automatically state property. You are basically a prostitute, a hoe, a gigolo to the oppressor, who is the pimp. And you really fail to understand that every time you pay taxes as a prostitute to the pimp, to the European slaveholder, because that's what, he's the one who's taking all the money and he ain't got to do nothing. He lies to you and tell you that he's going to give you a good education. But yet still all he's teaching you is lies and deceit. He don't want to promote anything about Moorish culture or Moorish science. No, he wants to play the flip-flop game and give you the LBGTQ. That's what he want to give you. He want to indoctrinate with you, tell you that you have a right to choose your gender. No, I'm sorry. Your gender has already been chosen at birth. Now, if there's something wrong with the birth certificate, then let me tell you this. That's called penalty and perjury. That's called false identification. And that is basically can be punishable by law. So all these ones out here talking about, oh, I'm going to change my nationality. I'm going to change my gender. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that. Yes, you can change it all you want, but there is no salvation in it. The only thing you can change is your state of mind, your slave mind, to better your condition in this day and time, because your ancestors have suffered mental slavery, but yet still you don't want to understand, you still don't see it, but yet still you don't even comprehend the truth, you don't want to know the truth, so whatever the media tell you, that's what you accept. Whatever the Rockefeller family tell you, you accept. If you say, they say China is communist, you don't know why. You don't know why because you don't know the history, nor you don't desire to know the history, nor you don't desire to know the history of yourself, so that's what makes you undesirable, according to law. I don't see why one's gonna get mad at me because I tell them Latino, Chicano, Hispanic is not a nationality and they want to get up and fight. Let's do this. You about that life? Let's do this. But before we fight, show me any national flag that says Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, and all these names that deliver slavery. Show it to me. Prove it to me. And you can prove to me those things, and that means you can prove to me that the national flag for the so-called Negro, Blacks, and Colors is on a manifest and they have a constitution. Prove it to me. Show it to me. Because all I'm going to do is just hit you with the Dred Scott decision. That's all I'm going to do. March 6, 1857. Anybody who is black or African descent is not an American citizen. Boom. Was never overturned. I don't care what my cousins say. I don't care what my aunties say. I don't care what none of them say. If you my family and you are siding with the oppressor, then I don't even know you. They're not going to even listen to a word I say. Then they got to go do dance. They go to Ancestry.com and they tell you, oh, you're from the people of West Africa. How are you going to trace your roots all the way back to Africa when we were already here in 1774? We were already here in the 1600s. We were already here in the 1500s. There's a book called Who Built America? There's a book called They Came Before Columbus. But they're not going to use the word who they is because the teacher is not supposed to teach you that it's the Moorish people who came before Columbus. No, they're not going to tell you that because they're going to lie and deceive you. They're going to call you a black person. You should be proud of it. You should be proud of your black skin. Wow. So now all of a sudden, now we're cooning. Now we're cooning, right? We're cooning with a red lipstick on. Looking like a doggone hermaphrodite. Looking like a doggone, you know what I'm saying? Like a doggone transgender. With the big red lipstick and stuff. That's slander. I ain't got nothing against eating watermelon. No, I don't. I love eating watermelon. Especially with the black seeds. But anytime someone wants to depict us as eating watermelon, shoot, by all means, I'm all for it. But I'm going to tell you this much, I'm not for the fried chicken. But I'm here to tell y'all this. If you call yourself black, you're calling yourself dead. That's what you're calling yourself. And if you want to look up the word black in the dictionary, by all means, it's telling the truth. And if you want to look at the etymology of the word black, then by all means, look at it and see how a pale-skinned person can relate to being black, but black cannot reproduce itself in the Caucasus Mountains of black itself. All I'm saying is, with all true divine records, there is no Negro, black, or color attached to the human. Therefore, these names were given to us by slaveholders in 1779. So how you gonna have black history and start it off in 1779? Well, I don't care what the Bible said. The Bible cannot predate over 2,000 years ago. The Bible cannot predate the language over 2,000 years ago. It will not, because the language is English, is Old English, 1800. So what if the scripture says that Solomon said, I'm black? No, he never said that. He never said that. You cannot prove that to me in the Aramaic. You cannot prove to me that in the Arabic. You cannot prove to me that in the Hebrew. You cannot prove it, because English is a modern language. It's not that old. Arabic and Aramaic and Hebrew are ancient languages. So how are you going to go with translation? My brothers and sisters, you're not thinking. You fail to think, but you fail to understand, but you fail to understand who you truly are and who your forefathers were, because guess where Israel is right now? It's ancient Canaan. Israel is a modern name. It's not an ancient name. It's what they call it right now. But it's hard to, there's no I, there's no vowels in Hebrew. So how are you going to identify but what the slaveholder owns these names that allude to slavery, and he called you that, but you would accept it? So if you call yourself black, that means you're calling yourself a Negro. And if you're calling yourself a Negro, that means you're calling yourself a nigger. And if you're calling yourself a nigger, that means you're calling yourself a nigga, because it means the same thing. So with all true divine records, there's no Negro, black, or colored attached to the human family. These are the words of Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, Negro, a river given in northwest Africa by the Moors because it contains black water. Negro. Negro. Come on now. Let's get it right. Negro means black, and black means Negro. So if you don't like being called Negro, you definitely don't like being called black. So you tell me what your portion of understanding is. Because obviously, your brother man Moore's life here is not about that black life. Because black life is dead life. That means you're a dead corpse. You're a dead entity that's being governed by the slaveholder, which you choose to accept. And you choose to accept what your oppressor give you. So that means you're bowing down to your oppressor as a prostitute. So you can sit here and tell me whatever you want in the chat. I don't give a I don't care. Because guess what? You can, okay, if you say you black, okay, you love being black. Okay, well, let's say this. Let's go get a black t-shirt then, or a black sweater, and put it next to your skin complexion. Is there a match? I think not. Let's get literal. Let's think. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it best. If I can't save you, then no one can. But if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. The Dred Scott decision said, March 6, 1857, anybody who is black or African descent is not an American citizen. So this is what is the condition to promote the 14th Amendment. which is 3/5 of a person. You're not even a whole person. You're being owned and don't even know it. You talk about you got freedom, but I never knew that freedom could be limited. Right? So, I don't know what's up with out of sight, out of mind over here tripping or whatever. You can say what you want. You can delete what you want because you're wrong. Okay, name one black nation that has the word, that has black people. And tell me how old that flag is. Tell me one national flag that represents the black people. And don't call out, and as far as the flags of Africa, that is definitely not one. The only two flags that exist that are red, black, and green that's close to it is the flag of Afghanistan and the flag of Kenya and Jamaica. But again, there's no such thing as a black people. You can sit here and indoctrinate yourself and choose to accept things, but you cannot even prove to me what your nation has as far as your true nationality is concerned, because the word black and nationalist don't exist. The word blackamoor or black American means the same thing, because black means dead. So if you're dead, if you're the walking dead, then so be it, and that's on you. But I'm here as your brother man Morris Life to tell you the truth about yourself. Because the prophet Juali told me about myself, that the Negro, blacks, and colors don't have no desire to know their nationality. You cannot prove that Jesus was a black man, because he never called himself black. Jesus is a descendant of the ancient Moabites and Canaanites. He was not born in a manger or a stable. He was born in the house of David. Hello. Right? So, we can sit here and play deleted messages all we want. I don't care what you say. But I'm going to say this much, though. Deception is within you, but you're the slave mind, and you have to open up your heart and mind to know the truth. Just like I was a slave mind. I was Mr. Negro Black, or Mr. Black I'm Proud. I used to be that, but after a while I started getting myself harassed by the police in violation of my human rights. I stopped calling myself black. I stopped calling myself Puerto Rican, because the word Puerto Rico or Puerto Rican means rich harbor, rich port. So tell me, how is a harbor alive when people say Puerto Rican black, and all of a sudden now it's a situation where it's being which means it repeats itself. So how are you going to repeat something? All it is a vicious cycle of self-hatred and reverse racism to hate your own people. But yet you don't even see it. You don't even see where your mind state goes, and see how limited and how mindless you are to understand that you don't even love your people. You love your people, but you expect people to treat you right, treat you kind, but you don't have no honor about yourself to love your nationality and love your culture, because you're lacking of it. Anytime a person lacks of nationality and culture and don't know who they are, and as soon as someone tells them that they're Moorish American, then that means that they're the ones who are suffering in slavery. It ain't us, but we're the ones who's promoting the truth. So tell me, when did you start looking at your skin complexion and start comparing yourself to a crayon? Black is an adjective. It means sullen, absent of light, evil. Basically a person who covets. If that does not fit your personality, then the only people who fit that personality is a so-called white man. It's the European. The European is black. It's a state of mind. Let's look at the word black. Black, adjective. Adjective. It's a description. It's a description of a state of mind, not a skin complexion. You tell me where your brother man Morris life is wrong at. But the only people who I know who represent the white people is a state of mind, is the so-called Negro blacks and colors who are just, and they have a good heart, and they doing the best they can, and they want for the people as they want for themselves, and they do unto others as they want done unto them, and they follow their 10 commandments, whether they Christian or whether they Muslim. They're the ones who are the true white people. But in order to be that, you have to be it to the fullest, because you have to practice it. So you cannot learn to hate instead of love, but you must learn to love instead of hate. I can't make it up. Let's call right, right. Let's call wrong, wrong. Let's not say evil is good. Yeah, evil is only well enough for those who prefer it. But evil will never be good, because evil and good is two polar opposites. One is exalted, the other one is not. One is bounded by finite wisdom. What title does Satan give himself? God. Okay, enough said. So the devil is your God. He's in your churches. He's the one who's propagating the faith of falsehood, telling you and I that we must pay our tithes and offerings to God and give our money to God, but the Most High don't even need those tangible things. So when the Bible starts talking about God is the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last, that sounds like a finite demonstration to me. If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. What's the commandments? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill. So on and so on and so on, and the dietary laws. The swine that chews of the cud, and the carcass you have shall not touch that has a split hoof, that's unclean to you. Eat anything that has scales and fins. The coney that does not have a split hoof, which chews of the cud, which is unclean to you, which is a rabbit. Come on now. Your brother man Morris life is already studied up, yo. Y'all need to get it together. You guys, y'all common people out there are worldly. And the Messiah never came for the church anyways to begin with, because this is something that he created not. There was no churches when the Messiah and the disciples were walking on this earth land over 2,000 years ago. Come on now. Talk about it. What did he say in the book of Revelation about the synagogues? I know thy truths and thy tribulation. That they say they are rich, but they say they are Jews and are not, and their synagogues is Satan. So if Judaism created Christianity, then why they call it Judeo-Christian to begin with? Hello. I'm going to leave y'all alone after 30 minutes. I'm going to let y'all ponder, think amongst yourself. You have to study for yourself. 2 Timothy verse 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved. Don't go in there to the church and be trying to out-talk the preacher, man, because he gonna get you real good. But it's best to study to show thyself approved, so it does not align with your reasoning of your higher self. With the higher self is the love, mercy, justice, and right, which is the kingdom of heaven that's within you, that Jesus spoke about in the book of John. Then that means that these teachings are for you. That means the kingdom of heaven is in your mind. And the flesh and bones have no thoughts or reasoning. You can sit here and hate your brother man Morris life all you want. You can sit here and post scriptures that Jesus is God and all this other stuff, that Jesus is blonde hair, blue eyes. Well, if that's the case, then how come Jesus is not the descendant of Esau and the Edomites then? Explain that. How come he's not blonde hair, blue eyes, when he had hair of wool and feet of fiery burning brass, which is skin as well, and eyes like fire, which is yellow brownish color, hair of wool like woolly like wool of lamb, not some straight hair Al Sharpton long hair demonstration that you, fictitious demonstration that you see, because guess what? You already denounced the Messiah already. So now the Messiah don't even know you because you denounced him. Because you say, oh, it's not about what he looks like. Yes, it is about what he looks like. The description is there. It's there in the book of Daniel. It's talking about our ancestors, not the pale-skinned European ancestors. Come on now, let's get it right. If you don't love these teachers, get out. Get out. If you don't love it, get out. I don't have time to be debating with ones. Because you know what? I'm a fiery Moor and I'm going to go there. I'm proud to have my mama is Ruth Moabitis. That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud that my descendant is Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Sultan Suleiman, the Sultan Solomon, and Joseph by Mary. That's my genealogy. My ancient forefather is Jesus, and that's what he looked like. He looked like me. He's dark skinned, melanated, beautiful skin of shade of skin of olive, not some pale skin, black version of pale, looking dead like he about to pass out or something, like he ain't got no life in him or something. Yeah, I said it and I meant it. So you can sit here and go toe to toe with me all you want, because you're not going to win this battle. There's no way in heck a European can last in the sun just as long as a shade of skin of olive Asiatic brother in Africa. It's not possible. He's going to pass out. He's going to look like a lobster. He's going to have heat stroke. Pale-skinned Europeans going to have heat stroke. And going to pass out and die. How is this pale-skinned Jesus going to save you? I don't care what your grandmother told you. I don't care what your preacher man told you. Or your preacher man told your ancestors, because they lied. And the truth ain't in him. So therefore, his father is of the devil. So take that and run that to your pastor. Because I only got 3 minutes left and I'm about ready to shut this thing down. So now you tell me who's deceiving who. Who's bringing the truth and who's not bringing the truth. I'm here to tell my brothers and sisters today that you are being loved by your brother, man. And I love you enough to tell you the truth. Because guess what? I'm a Moor and I'm proud of it. Everything Moorish. Moorish people are the only people who civilize nations, not black people. Black people don't civilize nations, so black people don't even exist. If you want to consider yourself melanated black, light-skinned black, then there's something wrong. There's something truly wrong because you're not thinking. You never compare colors. Color of a crayon or a shirt to your skin complexion. I never met anybody who's black a day in my life, to be honest with you. I never met anybody who's white. So when you call yourself black, that means you're calling yourself inferior. When you call them white, that means you're saying that they're superior to you. They changed the roles. That's what they did. But before I get off this line, I'm going to give I see some people in the chat, maybe two. Islam, heaven high to Dr. Mario. Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah to you and your family. Pray all is well. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, that there definitely fits your description. Yeah. You need to get insight in your mind. But anyways, I see you gave me reading Islam, peace and blessings. Study more science. Study law. You start studying colorable law and the statute of limitations and stuff like that. You start studying the Christian black codes, then you begin to understand why we don't call ourselves black. Islam. So I'm about to cut this live short because I have somewhere to be. I got some things to do. Islam, Allah the Father, the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Islam. Peace and love, man.